Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Welcome back to another episode of Gotta Watch 'Em All, episode 13.
Hi, guys.
Lucky 13.
Lucky 13?
Today is Sunday, February 19th. This episode is hella late. This was supposed to be out like 3 weeks ago.
Well, we were sick and life happens.
We had the plague run through the house.
Yeah.
But none of us had it simultaneously. Yeah. So it was like...
Over 3 weeks.
It was over 3 weeks. And
Josh had it.
My voice is still a little...
Yeah, I was the last one to get it, so... Uh-huh.
It went through. Well, it's the Jersey weather. It goes from 20 degrees in a blizzard to today. It was 73 degrees out and beautiful.
It has nothing to do with the weather. It's about your immune system. We've been over this before. If
the weather jumps 60 degrees, you're going to get sick. You're crazy. So, the last 3 weeks have been a little crazy. My work schedule also changed, which is terrible.
Yeah.
So that put a crinkle in things, but we got to get back on the schedule.
Yeah, so we're trying our best for you guys, and we're coming up with some new plans for you guys as well.
Yeah, we're not going to mention anything yet, but we're trying to do stuff with the podcast and the brand to help us. I don't know.
Connect with you guys more.
Connect a little bit better and give us the chance to do some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got some cool stuff coming, and hopefully it'll help with the schedule, and we'll have things a little bit more regulated. So excited for that. Gen 2 is finally here in Pokemon Go, and
thank the Lord,
it's back. It's back.
Thank the Lord.
So the update came out a couple days ago, but today was the first time that we actually did like actual playing. We did a 3-session Pokemon Go day today.
Yeah, we did.
It was awesome. We started in Red Bank, New Jersey. We restocked, filled up on, a couple hundred balls. Second stop was Keyport Waterfront in New Jersey, which was gorgeous because today it just doesn't make sense that we're in winter and it's 70-something degrees out. So we went to the waterfront, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous there.
Yeah, and it was all lured up. Lots of people out.
Yeah, people were playing. People were playing, and I don't know, lots of doggies walking around because of the good weather, and I love that.
Yeah, I love that too.
So, and then finally we ended up in Keansburg, New Jersey, which is for some reason is just
a hot spot,
a hotbed of weird spawns, and it's all residential. It doesn't make sense. Like we just literally drive from one spot to the next, and we could just be pulled over, and it's like 5, 6, 7 cluster spawns of completely random Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't understand why I didn't see like tons of kids on bikes, like riding around that neighborhood playing the game.
Well, we saw that in Keyport. It was late. We were already, but when we were in Keyport, I mean, it was people. It was like, I'm not going to say it was like at the launch of the game, but everywhere you looked, there was people staring at their phones playing.
In Keyport, yeah.
Yeah. But Keansburg, we ripped through that Pokedex. We picked up 40-something Pokemon. Like we caught a lot. We caught a lot.
And it was exciting because Pokemon Go had just lost me. Like, that last week, I was just saying to him, like...
You're a dragon.
Yeah, I was like, I haven't even turned the game on in a couple of days. I don't even know where I'm at. And then all of a sudden, it dropped, and I saw my first new shadow.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, the spark was back.
It's
exciting
to see the silhouette.
Yeah.
You see the silhouette, it's like, ooh.
Yeah. It's like, look, there's one on the radar. Now that you can actually track the Pokemon to its location, it makes it so much more fun.
Yeah, well, when you see the silhouette and you know exactly that if you get to the Pokestop in time,
you're going to catch
it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. But the update was a lot more than just the Pokemon. The Pokemon, of course, are the big thing.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of mechanical changes to the game. There was a lot of item changes. The encounter screen is different. I'm not going to go through everything.
Yeah, but they gave it a complete facelift, and it's really nice.
There's a lot of change stuff. Within 5 or 10 minutes of playing with the new update, you'll know everything that's going on, pretty much. They do a really good job of it, but I'm super gassed up. I can't wait to continue playing, and I think every Sunday maybe will be our Pokemon Go day, where we'll really play hard.
Yeah.
And then we could podcast about it at the end of the day if we record on Sunday or something.
Yeah, that.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna shoot for that, friends.
I gotta do a count, but I think it's literally 40-something Pokemon I picked up today.
I don't know. It was a lot.
So,
and I finally.
Oh yes.
Finally, this is very important to share with you guys. Okay, so I've had the baby Pokemon plague, which was another reason why I was about to give up on Pokemon Go, because I went through that entire baby Pokemon.
40 eggs. You had to hatch 30, 40 eggs.
Yeah, and I did not get one baby, and Ken had, I don't know, at least, I don't know.
I don't know. I've got probably 30 babies.
Right now.
Total, yeah. It's crazy. Like, I was just popping them left and right.
But today...
Babies were flying.
And every time my heart would break a little more. And then today, this morning, I hatched 2 Goldines, and I was very upset about it. And then later on this afternoon, just at the end of the day, I finally hatched my first baby, and it was Pichu, and then I hatched Togepi, so I'm very excited about that.
You're in the game, and the kicker is you can catch the babies in the wild now too. So a lot of mechanical stuff has changed. Go to the Sylph Road and read about it because a lot of good stuff going on. The game is back.
Yeah,
I'm fired up. I'm excited.
And if you haven't played before, go play.
Yes, start now.
Download it.
Start now. It's
because there's so much stuff to catch. You'll go crazy.
Yeah. If I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how Gen 2 paces itself because, it took us how long has the game been out? 7-8 months, something like that, to get through Gen 1. Mm-hmm. Your Gen 1 isn't complete yet.
Nope.
So I don't know. 40 Pokemon, 50 Pokemon in already. It's scary. I hope it's like not in a month from now. It's like, oh, I'm done.
Well, we know the hot spots. We found the hot spots to get the good stuff.
But Pokemon Go is back. It's back on the map. I hope you guys are playing.
Yes.
Pokemon Duel. This is a new game that was released. This was called Pokemon Co-Master in Japan. It's a figure strategy board game style, random number generated battle system weird thing.
Alrighty then.
I love it. It's super cool. It's a weird strategy board game thing. Check it out. It's very strange. I actually showed it to my 8-year-old son, and he was able to pick up and play it.
Did you mention that it's a mobile?
Oh, mobile game. Yeah. Yes, mobile game.
It's not actual figures. It's not an actual.
They look like little amiibo in the game. That's what they look like, and there's this weird, geometrical play surface, and you move the figures around. When you interact with other figures, it's a random number generated attack system, so it's all random. But there's a lot of strategy, and all the Pokemon are in the game, so it's a lot of fun to collect the figures. But complete departure from anything else I've ever seen with Pokemon game.
I haven't tried it yet, so
it's very
I
strange.
Can't give my opinion.
But Pokemon Duel is out. I want to talk about that. Now, Pokemon Center's been pumping product out like every single week, but this last week they came out with a really cool line called the Lapras Surf Collection, and you really like.
Oh my god, it's super super cute for the summer, and
it's like tropical blue, like aquamarine, really cool colorway.
It's surfwear, man. They got a sleeveless shirt, and it's got palm trees on it, and Lapras, and it looks real Hawaiian, and it's totally cute.
This is very clever. They do this license plate design, and they say like HM03, which is surf. Mm-hmm. And so this license plate says HM03, apostrophe, surfs up with with up. It's very clever, really cool design, and the Lapras on it is super cute, and it's just like these. Yeah, the palm tree design is awesome.
Yeah, it just looks like a little Hawaiian.
You like the hat too. I just think it's funny too because it's the ice Pokemon and it's all tropical, so it's really cool.
Yeah, it's super cute. The hat is awesome. The colors are awesome. It's like a teal and gray, and it's really cute. Go to Pokemon Center and check it out.
Yep.
Not only the hat, there's other really cute stuff
there's a water bottle.
Yeah. And then there's a hoodie that's really cute.
The hoodie is cool. The hoodie's like a really cool blue.
No,
it's
what's
like
on
an
the
icy
back
blue.
Of the hoodie?
It's that Lapras design with the palm trees.
On the butt. That's cute.
All right, so the TCG Sun and Moon cards have been out for a couple weeks now. They just released a new box. This is the Lycanroar GX, which is a...
It looks like a wolf.
Yep, and it's a jumbo box. So you get the standard GX promo card and the jumbo promo card. 4 boosters. I think they are all... Oh no, there's 2 Sun and Moon, 1 Fates Collide, 1 Breakpoint booster in the box, which is weird. They it's a couple generations old. They go back with Breakpoint. But the GX card looks awesome. I really like the art on these new GX cards. Yeah,
it's pretty.
They pop. They pop really hard. Pokemon Plushies.
Oh.
All right, so
okay.
We're big fans here, and we've purchased a bunch of the Katari Cuties. These are like Beanie Baby Pokemon.
Yes.
So they're like these really but a low fill of beans. So they're very floppy.
They're flat. They're just
and they're
so
flat.
cute.
Really, really cute. They just released a new line. There's a Vulpix, a Growlithe. The Cubone is ridiculous. You guys got to see this. So
yeah,
you could just go to Pokemon Center and click plush, and they're towards the top.
They're just so cute.
They're awesome. Like if you've ever been to
and then they have the regular ones, and then they have sleeping versions.
There's sleeping versions that are ridiculously cute. We have the Mew, the Awake Mew, and the Sleeping Mew.
Yes,
which is really cute. But if you've ever been to the Nintendo World Store in New York City, they have like this giant wall of just a billion different Katari Cuties. These things are really cool.
They're so cute.
They're so cute.
I love them.
Okay, Pokemon Sun and Moon, you are at the end of the game, but you're not
I'm really
done.
close.
I've been busting her chops every time she picks it up. I'm like, did you beat it? Did you beat it? Did you beat it?
Yeah, it's starting to drive me nuts now, actually.
I haven't played much ever.
Yeah,
I just have not
terrible.
played the game. I know. I'm sleeping on it. It's hard. It's a hard day's night.
It's hard not life
It is.
for us.
But you're at the end. What are your thoughts on the game since you're pretty much there?
I liked it. I liked it.
Mikey likes it. He likes it.
You know what?
Life cereal.
The only problem is like I use the same Pokemon. Literally, I use Snorlax from the second I got him, which was literally the beginning of the game. So he's so maxed out that I've blown through. Like it was not a challenge at all for me.
You got to start competing, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no, I gotta really just start using other Pokemon. I just, I just love my Lax.
We were just talking about Pokemon Bank and the fact that you can bring now Pokemon over from X and Y into Sun and Moon, and you have a Mew in X, right? And no, you played Y. Did you play Y? You played Y. And you can bring Mew over, and as a promotion, they're giving away a Mew Z Crystal.
Yes.
So you got to do this. You got to sign up for Bank. So it's $5 a year. So it's really inconsequential cost. You know what I mean? Keep the server alive, kind of thing. But I got to see this move. It looks really really cool on the still image. Yes,
we'll do it.
Do it. All right. So let's talk about this episode. Episode originally aired September 24th, 1997. It is called Mystery at the Lighthouse. We've watched it 47 times because we've tried to record this podcast on 84 different days.
True story.
We're finally recording, but yeah, we've watched this episode a lot. It's a great episode, and it stood up to us watching it a billion times.
Yeah.
And you actually found even something new in the episode today.
I sure did.
After watching it 846 times.
Yeah, because I didn't have to take notes or rethink about it or, really pay attention.
So the episode begins with a really cool recap sequence. Now, they've kind of done this in previous episodes where they'll just kind of do this montage of different things, of different scenes from previous episodes to catch you up. This one actually went back to the beginning and makes this narrative about recapping, where the narrator of the story is actually involved in the situation. He's like communicating with Ash and says like, "Hey, what's your Pokemon's names?" And he breaks down all the Pokemon that he has. And for the first time, we start to get this real push of, "Hey kids, this is a video game, and we're making a cartoon about a video game. This is what you do in the game and how it's going to relay, into the cartoon world." So they start talking about game mechanics and how the game mechanics apply to their real world.
Yes.
So it comes out that, Pokemon Trainer will have 6 Pokemon. You need those 6 Pokemon for the Pokemon League, and you can, all these things that are like key basic foundation stuff when you're starting a Pokemon video game, and again, Red and Blue back in the day.
Yes. So
these are the basics, but it's really clear. They lay it on thick where they're trying to say like, oh yeah, this franchise is a video game. This is a cartoon about a video game. But I really like how they break the whole thing down. They kind of like recap the whole story, and it comes down to the narrator saying, and our hero here, Ash, has, 2 badges of his own, and that's what kind of cuts into the episode where Ash is being Ash, and he's showing off the 2 badges and how cocky he is. He's like, hey, I earned these things.
Yeah.
And
right
away,
he actually whips open his jacket and he goes, yeah, and I earned them both. And of course, Misty, being the salty girl that she is, just has to cut him down right then and there and says, you didn't earn those badges. My sister gave you one of those badges.
Yeah, and Brock felt bad for you?
Yeah, and Brock gave you one of those badges. And they start arguing, of course, which Brock jumps in and tries to cool him off.
It's very clear, of course, that Misty is just still salty, still bitter.
Yeah.
And you brought up when we were watching it, like, she's, this is all about her bicycle. So now 13 episodes in, she still hasn't gotten her bicycle back, so...
Don't blame her.
I would be mad, too.
Yeah.
I would be mad, too. So they he's complaining about, or he's talking about the badges and how he earned them and he gets shut down. And then he talks about the Pokemon that he has, and he's like, and I caught all my Pokemon, fair and square, too. And good old Misty lays right back into him. He's like, what? The Pokemon that you have, they're followers of yours. They followed you. In the real world, trainers actually catch their Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I love this part because it sets Ash off like, it's almost like like
a trigger.
He's like triggered, and Ash is like, oh, that's how it is. You guys cut me no slack. I'll show you. And it breaks into this wicked animation. Ash is all charged up, and he's like, stand back and watch me work.
Yeah, that part was really cool.
Go. I was all fired up. I was like, it's like beat your chest and like, rah, let's go.
Yeah, because, it all leads into it's, still the beginning of the episode. So you go from the introduction, which is this super cool, like, spotlight on the Pokemon and the core 6 of Ash's team and his badges, and then you go into a little bit of banter and then watch me work. So it was like a cool little segue into the actual
all that happens before
the episode.
Before the title card comes on, like right when he says stand back and watch me work, that's when the title card pops up, Mystery at the Lighthouse. So it's like that's the whole intro. But Ash has now got some kind of spark under his butt where this isn't just a mission for himself now. He really wants to do this to prove to Misty and Brock, like, I'm legit. I'm legit. Like, and I'll prove it to you. So he just darts off and he's just like, I need Pokemon, and runs out, and he's, determined to prove himself right and prove his worth and his mettle. And he comes across this like beautiful beach. There's a nice sunset, and the narrator comes back in. It's like, Ash stumbles across this beautiful beach, but he's a little perplexed. He's confused. And they show Ash, and he's like, kind of has to like wait, snap out of it a little bit. He's like, this is beautiful, but I can't stand here and look at this. I need to really find Pokemon. Mm-hmm. That's when he stumbles upon this scrawny little shrimpy crabby, and he pulls out the Pokedex, scans it, says, look, the average height of this thing is 16 inches tall. This Krabby's probably like 3 inches tall. It's like this tiny little thing. And he's like, yo.
A Pokemon's a Pokemon.
So he doesn't even care. He's like, come on, Krabby, you're such a cute little thing. But you are kind of shrimpy.
And Krabby gets mad and insulted over this, starts foaming at the mouth.
Starts foaming at the mouth and, chomping the claws like he's like,
all right, bro, sucker. You want to talk junk? Let's go for this.
This is an interesting scene. So it cuts to, Ash looking at the sunset over the beach, and he's like, it's a showdown. Like he's charged up. He's fired up.
Yeah, and honestly, this part kind of made me laugh to myself because I thought for sure he was going to bring out a Pokemon to battle him, and he totally doesn't. He picks up 2 sticks and just goes after Krabby with his bare hands.
It didn't make any sense to me either.
Yeah, he just went after Krabby with his bare hands. He runs after Krabby. The battle music's on, and he swats at Krabby. And Krabby does the greatest thing ever. He does like a chef's
chopping some scallions.
Yeah, exactly. Chops it up like onions.
But this was brilliant from Ash because he did this where he was trying to like jab Krabby with a stick, and he distracts Krabby, makes Krabby, go to this defensive maneuver to cut down the stick, and then throws a Pokeball right in his face, like boom,
Yeah, get some.
And that's when the stare down happens, and he catches the Krabby, and he's like, yes, I'm going to show them now, like, I caught this one legit. He didn't use a Pokemon. This was all him. He's so excited. He's holding the ball up, and the ball dematerializes and vanishes, and he's baffled. He's like,
what happened? Where'd it go? What happened? And yeah, like he has literally no idea where his Pokemon went.
So Misty and Brock come back into the picture, and they have to school him again. Now another tie into the game mechanics. Come on, silly. You didn't know that, a trainer can only have 6 Pokemon at a time. And, when he gets more than that, they get transported away. So they kind of explain the whole Pokemon box system.
Yeah, where
and it even applies to the real world. Brock even says like, hey, if you don't want that Pokemon to go to the box, just push this button in your Pokedex.
Yeah.
Like they're making it so clear. Like this is like a mechanic of it. And he's like, look, I don't care where Krabby, what Krabby's going on. He goes, I'm just worried about him. I want to make sure he's okay. Ash is like a softie here. He's just like, I just want to know he's okay.
Yeah, like I need to know that he's okay because he obviously wasn't able to release him from his Pokeball to make that connection with him. He just disappeared.
And I think it's Misty then that explains that it goes back to where you first got your Pokedex from. So Ash is like, oh, so it went back to Krabby was transported to Professor Oak.
And then he thinks about Professor Oak. And for some reason, he just thinks about Professor Oak as like this derpy kind of goofy guy.
Because that is Professor Oak. You didn't hear his voice?
Yeah, I guess. But, I always kind of had respect for Professor Oak.
Of course, he's the OG professor.
Yeah, so but I never looked at him with worry that my Pokemon is with him. Like if someone told me my Pokemon was with Professor Oak, I'd be like, all right, straight. You got to
remember this is Gary's grandfather, so it's his rival's grandfather. So he's got a bias.
Yeah, I guess he hasn't built up the relationship yet. He is still at the beginning of his journey.
So Ash is hyper focused on making sure Krabby is okay. He has the brilliant idea of, I need to find a phone so I can call Professor Oak and make sure he's okay. Brock reiterates, we're in the middle of a beach. Like, we haven't seen a phone forever. And Pikachu starts wigging out, pointing out in the distance. And out in the distance, there's this beautiful, high rise of land that's like jettisons out over the rocks, over the water. And there's this beautiful lighthouse.
Yes.
And, the light's spinning around. And it's like, every lighthouse has a keeper. He'll have a phone.
But this is great. Ash's face just lights up.
Yep.
He lights up. He's just like, a lighthouse. He, snaps his finger and he goes, every lighthouse has got a keeper. And, I'll be able to use his phone.
It's super campy.
Yeah.
It's super cheesy.
He's
twinkle-eyed.
Yeah, his face is great. And Misty, all she cares about is not sleeping outside for a night. She's like, oh God, yes, now I can have a bed. And Brock, very...
He just wants to know where he is. He goes, he'll have to know where we are. He'll tell us where we are. Because, of course, they're still lost. They're going to Vermillion City. Still, another Sidewinder.
Yes.
Another Sidewinder. So, it's just ridiculous.
Off to the lighthouse they go.
Off to the lighthouse. Now, mind you, when Pikachu sees the lighthouse, it's this gorgeous thing. The sun is shining. The water's glistening.
But it was setting.
But the sun was setting. By the time they get there, it's like...
Pitch black,
dark, gloomy, and foggy, and the now beautiful, lighthouse is like this ominous, spooky...
Yeah, it's completely haunted lighthouse now. So, it looks freaky.
Now, they get to the front door. It does look like a temple. They get to the front door, and there's these huge gates that are engraved with all Pokemon designs. There's like a Growlithe, there's a Mew, you actually see a Ditto.
Yeah, there's a bunch
Lapras.
of legendaries.
Yep.
Yeah, Mewtwo, Gyarados, Lapras.
And then there's this, what?
Lapras.
Laprador. And then there's like a little doorbell, like a house doorbell next to these, beautiful mosaic doors. Mm-hmm. And they ring the bell, and it's like this huge haunted house,
like church bells, kind of like boom.
And there's a little intercom speaker. There's a little intercom speaker, and this voice comes on like, "Hello."
Oh
like, this is ridiculous British voice. It's so funny.
Yes.
It's so cheesy, but it's like the perfect voice, and they all go one by one, like start pretty much begging for what they're looking for. So Ash is like, I need to use your phone. And Misty's like, yeah, I really could use a nice warm bed. And Brock's like, hey, you got a kitchen? I want to make some bacon cheeseburgers for my friends. I'll make you some.
For you too. And the guy was just like, yeah, can you cook anything except for tofu? Because my cook's been on vacation
It's
for
so
weeks.
weird
Yeah.
that they would say that. Like, it's just like, he's like, yeah, I can cook without
All right,
tofu.
sure.
So,
and he's like, come on in.
Now, this is like creeper status weird British voice. Like
it's so great and weird. It's so good.
If Ash was my 10-year-old son, I wouldn't want him ringing some dude's doorbell that sounds like this and goes in.
It reminds me of like Monty Python.
Yes. It totally does. It fits that. That's the best way to put it. That's exactly the best way to put it.
Okay.
Like it could be like John Cleese's voice when he's being extra British. You know what I mean? It's really funny. It's really funny. And the doors creak open, and it's pitch black. Like the person that is letting them in is not making it easy on their nerves to feel comfortable and welcome.
Yeah, they open the door, and it's like no one there to greet them.
It's a haunted house. It looks like a haunted house.
Yeah, it's all creaky. But they don't care. They walk straight in, and Ash is just like, can I use your phone?
Now, and the whole house, I guess, has this intercom system because this dude's voice comes back on. He's like, why, sure, there's one right next to you.
It's a video phone.
All right, so they cut to this video phone, and the handset is a Bellsprout.
Which is fantastic.
With buttons on it. And then there's like this Commodore 64 screen, set up next to it. And he's like, yo, I'll call Professor Oak collect.
Yeah,
like, why
would it have to be collect? It's in somebody's house. Like,
I don't know. It's hilarious. That's all they mention of it. But he's able to connect with Professor Oak and say, Professor Oak, did you get my Krabby? And Professor Oak's in the middle of cooking, and Ash thinks, he's like, oh no, you're not cooking my Krabby.
Yeah.
He's like, no, don't worry. He's safe right back here. And they show behind him, he's in like this little fishbowl thing. He's like, oh, he's really cute. Like Professor Oak's being a little snarky about, the catch. But he says, my cook is on vacation. I've been eating nothing but tofu. So it's this weird parallel to the guy.
Is there something in Japan that like something about eating tofu when
their cook is away? I don't know. But it was very strange. They start talking about the catch and how Krabby is safe, and it comes up that Gary
also has a Krabby.
And Ash is bitter. He's like, what? He caught a Krabby too? And Professor Oak's like, yeah. He pans the camera over.
And Gary's Krabby is gargantuan, like literally 4 times the size of.
It's a beast, but it's still in a giant fishbowl. It's
yes.
still in like this giant
course.
fish. But the thing is, it's like Krabby on steroids.
Yeah.
It's this massive hulking thing.
Yeah.
And Professor Oak comes on and he goes, I want you to know that my grandson has already caught 45 Pokemon.
Yeah, that's called salt in the wound. Burn.
Yes. Ash is happy that Krabby is okay, but is really upset about the whole Gary thing.
And at this point, Professor Oak asks where they're at.
Yeah, by the way, where are you calling me from?
And Ash says, I don't know, I love this part. He goes, I don't know, we're in some weird lighthouse at the top of this hill at this town. And Professor Oak goes, oh, you must be at Bill's Lighthouse. Like, where else would you be at? It could be, you know.
How many weird lighthouses on the top of a cliff thingy could there be?
I don't know. It depends on how big the ocean is, right?
But now Bill reveals himself over the intercom. He's like, Professor Oak, how are you?
Yeah, well, Professor Oak winds up saying that Bill is a Pokemon researcher, and he probably knows more than Professor Oak does, so Ash and the team would benefit from staying there and learning as much as they possibly can. And then that's when Bill introduces himself and says, "Oh, Professor Oak, hi, how you doing?" Oh, blah, blah, blah.
Is that your British accent? Is that your Monty Python accent?
That is.
So it's clear now that the team is in okay hands. The guy and Bill comes on and says, "Look, I can't deny a request from Professor Oak." Professor Oak asks Bill to take care of them and teach them and show them the ways of the Pokemon. And Bill is happy to oblige. He's got, a rapport with Professor Oak. So he's like, yeah, no problem. Come on in. He turns the lights on. The whole time, they've been in the dark.
Yes.
So just now, after they finally hear from Professor Oak, does Bill to even turn the lights on? He's like, all right, party's over.
Good.
Everything's okay. And they turn the lights on, and there's a door at the end of the hall, and, and they...
Well, they don't go in just yet.
This is so crazy.
The lights go on, and they turn around to meet Bill. And as Bill introduces himself, he says, "I'm Researcher Bill." And it's a giant Kabuto.
But it's like a huge Kabuto.
Like
this
a
huge
gigantic
Kabuto.
one.
And Brock, immediately says, like, "Oh my gosh, this is an extinct Pokemon. Like, what is it doing here?" And the voice of Bill is coming directly from this Kabuto. So they're ridiculously confused of what the heck is going on. And he's like, no, I am not a Kabuto, I'm Bill.
Yes.
Right? And
so Ash is the only one that...
He buys into it immediately.
No.
He's like, all right.
No, Ash is the only one who goes, "Well, are you a Pokemon or a human?" And that's when Bill says, no, this is a costume. I've been stuck in it. Can you help me get out?
It's the most bizarre thing. He's just like, "I'm stuck in the costume."
Yeah.
And Ash is like, "All right, man, cool. I'll help you out."
He's like, "Yeah, help me get out. I've been trying to press this button and I can't reach it."
There's like an eject button on the costume.
Yeah.
So Ash is like, "What button? Oh, this one?" It's like the one button on the belly of the Kabuto.
Yeah, exactly.
It's super creepy. It's really weird.
Yeah,
Come here, little boy. Press this little button on my costume. But he presses the button and it's like a decompression chamber and the thing starts like decompressing and steam is coming out and like parts are falling off. It's like Total Recall.
Yes, I was about to say, what's that movie where the thing splits apart in two?
And then out from, inside this costume comes this very dapper lad with bright green hair, and he's like, "Hello,
yes.
Why am I doing Australia?" And he's British, but he keeps saying, he's just like, he comes out, and he's just very dapper and super proper looking, but he can finally introduce himself as, a human and not a giant Kabuto.
Yes, and that he starts explaining his whole deal that he wears the costumes to get into the heads of the Pokemon so that he can understand them better because they've been extinct for so long.
He's a weirdo.
No, he's not. He wants to be in touch with
He lives alone in the lighthouse. He's wearing a giant Kabuto costume that he gets stuck in. That has a button.
He is a hippie researcher that loves Pokemon and wants the world to be a better place by understanding them.
So it comes out that Bill is more than just a researcher. He has a specialty of fossil Pokemon. And he's super, super into the lore and the mechanics of the Pokemon race at large. And it goes into this whole thing where he's not just a fact researcher, but he's more of like a Pokemon philosopher. And it's really bizarre how he starts explaining his theories and his process, because they go into this room, and now, mind you, they're in the main building of the Lighthouse. So this just looks like a barn-style, building. But from the inside, it's almost like a planetarium.
Yes. And
this part is so weird, but it's so amazing. So he turns on this machine that projects onto the whole ceiling and roof. I don't know if you've ever been to a planetarium. If you haven't, go. But it's really cool because it looks like this, IMAX of a solar system, over your head. Mm-hmm. But he projects like a Pokedex that looks like, if you were playing the game, the grid of the Pokemon that you're trying to catch. And Ash is saying like, oh, there's so many Pokemon. And Bill says, there's 150 of them here. And those are just the ones we know of. And
on Earth. And then he blows the kid's mind by explaining to them, that the world is vast and that there's Pokemon out of our universe that haven't even been discovered, and it just sparks this wonder in Ash.
He starts getting all philosophical, and it really like touches Ash's brain waves. He's just like, wait a second, there's more meaning to this than just companionship.
All, yeah.
Like there's way more to it, and it really incites some motivation in Ash. But I just love how they present it, because there's this just giant. It's almost like the sky dome of a Pokedex, and Ash even says, "I only have 7."
And then it
highlights the 7 on the grid.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
And it shows how his 7 is just so small in comparison to how many are actually out there. And that's just the list of 150 that
they know of, right,
on Earth. Yeah.
But Bill is confident that there's more. So he's like, how many more could there be? Like, it's just wonder and amazement.
Yeah.
Ash is totally like just in awe. He's, this is probably exactly what Professor Oak wanted Bill to do, like really open their mind to his theories of, this philosophical world of Pokemon.
Yes.
So while all this is happening, they cut outside, and it's Team Rocket, and this is so typical of what Team Rocket is. They're just kind of like scouting the location with binoculars, and they're honing in on the lighthouse.
But the best is, they're like, oh, there's Bill's lighthouse. We looked it up in the phone book.
He's got Pokemon there.
Yeah, we know that he's a researcher, and he must have rare Pokemon there. So this is the place we're gonna hit up.
So, kids, if you're listening, a phone book was this old book that used to show up at your house. So if you needed someone's number, you had to find them in alphabetical order and flip through it and find their number and then call them like a creeper.
Yeah, and there was no Google, so if their number wasn't listed in the phone book, guess what? You couldn't call them.
Remember phone books?
Yeah.
Yellow Pages. Yellow Pages were awesome.
They still deliver Yellow Pages.
I know, but like get all the cool ads. I remember like looking up cool companies.
No.
Yes. Cool. Man, that was cool. Yellow Pages ads. Get with it, son.
So Team Rocket has the best intro, I think, of the season to date,
without
in my
a doubt.
opinion.
Visually and what they say.
Yes.
It's just, it has its own, it's like an extended animation. It cuts to Team Rocket. They go through like this whole speech. It's super like motivating. Like they're really fired up. And then the animation style changes, and it shows them in these kabuki robes, like samurai style.
Yeah, it's like so stylized. I loved it.
And they show like,
they have like
Jessie flying through the air with speed lines, and she like stands and does this like fighting stance.
No, she does this like flying, like spread eagle
awesome.
Across the screen jet. It's just.
James comes flying down out of nowhere, kind of lands down like superhero pose a little bit.
Yeah.
And, they go through the whole thing. Meowth comes in with the that's right. Like, it's just a great motto. It's I want to curse. I want to say how great it is with a curse. But we can't for the kids. But
PG,
it was
PG.
It's definitely the best intro motto of them. Of them all.
Yeah, very stylized and cool. And of course they ended with humor. Because they're talking about how they're going to climb up the side of this cliff.
Yeah, rather than walk in through the door, through the front door.
Bad guys.
They're bad guys. They got to come in the back way by climbing up the cliff.
Yeah.
But they're scared of heights.
Yes.
So, there's this little comic relief at the end that, they're all serious. They go through the whole motto, but then they're like, but we're scared of heights.
Yes. But they're going to climb up the side of the cliff anyway.
They cut back to Bill.
Yes.
Right? Bill has just got done waxing all poetic about Pokemon and the meaning of life and all this stuff, and Ash is completely drawn in, and Bill starts explaining that his current mission is all about this one Pokemon, and it's a very special Pokemon. It's one of a kind. No one has ever seen it, and the way he explains what this Pokemon is all about is so classic. Bill goes, this Pokemon is wandering the ocean, searching for friends. Like, it's like, what? Bill, what? What are you talking about, Bill?
And he sings a song, a beautiful song.
So he had made this recording, and it's suspension of disbelief here. He says he heard this cry coming from, out in the ocean of this Pokemon talking and communicating with him, and he's like, I want to be your friend. Like, he really thinks that the Pokemon is saying, I guess he understands. And they cut to Pikachu, and Pikachu's like, is that what he's saying? Like, bro, I don't know. But he made this recording, and he goes in to say that he's been recording and studying the recordings, and he made his own recording and plays it out over the loudspeaker, and he's getting responses. Like, it's this weird, crazy thing.
He pretty much says he has this encounter with this Pokemon one time, and he hears the sound and he records it because he hears the Pokemon saying, I'm looking for a friend. So he has been going out and playing this recording out, hoping that the Pokemon one day will come to him and they can be friends. And as they're talking about this, he starts playing the recording.
So the recording, he starts playing the recording back, and it sounds like whales. It sounds like a whale, kind of like.
Yeah, I would say that.
This weird kind of echoey, boomy noise, and he's explaining how this recording is supposed to draw the Pokemon in, and as he's doing this, they hear from out in the water a response.
Yes.
And it's this very angelic kind of, very similar to the recording, but it's a super angelic kind of singing soothing song.
Whale call.
So as soon as they hear it, he's like, oh my gosh, it's happening, the signal. And he presses his button on this little remote. The lighthouse light changes from white to like this red and blue.
Rainbows. No, it starts going different colors, yeah.
And, the sound just starts echoing and booming, and all of them are kind of taken back with how beautiful this is.
Yes.
And it's even like Brock is like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. Misty, would you care to dance? It's a really cool scene. Everyone's like really sucked into it, and it's like they're just appreciating how beautiful the sound is that this Pokemon is making.
Yes.
And mind you, this is pitch black. This is foggy night. They don't see anything at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
But very soon they cut back out, and you see the silhouette of Dragonite. It's Dragonite. Okay.
It's Dragonite. But
they don't know that.
The way that they have Dragonite come in, straight up, it's Godzilla.
It's Godzilla.
It's Godzilla.
Coming in
He's coming in.
Huge.
So they're at the lighthouse, and he is doing these whale noises, and he's coming out of the middle of the ocean with literally like blazing eyeball beams.
Yeah,
I don't understand why they give him the blazing eyeball beams, because I never seen.
Because he looks spooky.
I know, but I've never seen.
It's
Dragonite
this giant
with it.
Dragonite silhouette, and all you see are these glowing eyes, so it looks really, really spooky.
Yeah.
But it's straight up Godzilla sized, like massive, massive thing.
But Bill and the gang, they have no idea that it's Dragonite, so Bill is just calling to the Pokemon, Pokemon, come, let's be friends.
It's so campy.
Let's be friends, because that's really, honestly, truly all you want. Oh, because
Ash even asked him, "Did you? When you see this Pokemon, are you going to try to catch it?"
And he said, "No, just having a chance to meet this Pokemon and see this Pokemon will be good enough for me. That's all I need." So as this Pokemon is coming in, and Bill thinks that his dream is coming true,
they cut to Team Rocket. Now, Team Rocket also hears this beautiful song, and they're like, "This is gorgeous. What's going on here? What the heck is going on?"
Yeah, it's
and Meowth kind of pokes out and says, "Oh my gosh, it's coming from that thing!" And they go over, and mind you, they're climbing up the cliff to the lighthouse. They see Dragonite there, and it's right up on them now, and it's this huge thing. And, James is like, "This thing is beautiful," and Jesse goes, "I don't care. Attack, catch it. This is our chance."
Yeah. Actually, that scene is really great because they're hanging off the side of the cliff, and Jesse and James are both entranced by the beautiful music. And when Meowth comes in, his face literally, it's like he went to the bathroom in his pants.
Because he sees Godzilla there.
He's like, look, it's coming from that thing. And Jesse instantly is just like, that's one of those rare Pokemon. Let's get it. And then all of a sudden, James pulls out a bazooka. And he's like, I feel kind of bad, like, shooting at such a beautiful
thing.
Pokemon. And Jesse's just like, that's why we're the bad guys. So let's do this.
They start lighting up Dragonite with bazookas.
Hardcore.
Like full-blown bazookas, explosions and everything. And it's like straight up like a Godzilla movie.
Yeah, it really is. So poor Dragonite's getting bazooka to his chest. And Bill...
Bill and Ash and them are like, they're like, what the heck is going on? Because they didn't even see Team Rocket because they're on the cliffs below.
Yes.
And Dragonite is so confused, as he's getting hit by the bazooka... He just kind of smashes the whole
top of the
lighthouse down, and Ash and them are like forced to run down the steps, and they're getting jacked up. Like there's rocks falling on them and stuff like that. Like it's no joke. But Team Rocket is just relentless, like firing all these crazy bazooka blasts, and Dragonite kind of hones in and looks at Team Rocket.
And Bill's now down on the ground, and Bill's making eye contact with the Pokemon, and he's begging the Pokemon not to go. He's saying, please, Pokemon, stay with us. And Dragonite actually looks at Bill and shakes his head, no. And Bill is like devastated. And at this point,
why would Dragonite want to stay?
Exactly, he's getting bazooka. But at this point, he realizes that it's not Bill that's attacking him, and he just straight up tail swipes
Team Rocket. Blast off to the speed of light, with this massive tail swipe, and just like that, Team Rocket is gone, and Dragonite's gone too.
Gone as well.
And they cut to poor Bill. And he's like, what just happened?
Yeah.
The lighthouse is trashed, and Dragonite is gone. And it's this, heavy kind of emotional scene of, what just happened.
Yes.
So everyone's all emotional, and it kind of cuts to them reflecting on, not just what just happened, but, life and in general.
Yeah, the ending is very weird because they have this
This was a traumatic event.
Yeah, well, they have this ultimate, action-packed event, and then all of a sudden it's just like, boom, PSA announcement.
This is why I love Pokemon.
Yeah.
And it cuts to Ash, and Ash is saying, I think, catching Pokemon will better the world, and they kind of cut to everyone of them just kind of validating why they're still involved with Pokemon, I guess, after such a traumatic thing could happen.
Yes.
It's really, really strange. It does, I don't know, it doesn't fit with the episode.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit with the episode. I guess it just kind of closes in on how Bill is a philosopher and will have that impact on people, but it's very weird how they deliver it, but it is like a PSA.
Yeah.
It is like a PSA. It gets really weird, really emotional at the end, and, they carry on. Not once in this episode did they even mention Vermillion City.
Yeah.
Not once. This is so weird. So the episode's done.
Yeah.
Weird ending. Dragonite's out. Episode's over. Carry on.
Yep. To be continued.
I don't
That's
know.
why it's the mystery of the lighthouse. This episode is a mystery.
The episode is a mystery. I love Bill.
I do love Bill
Because he's so cheesy.
It's a mystery that there's no reason for him.
But I don't know about this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know, but there is no reason for Bill. There's no reason for Bill.
him.
But, I guess, to wear Kabuto outfits. But it's a very strange episode, but I don't know. I liked it. But it didn't fit.
My favorite part was Godzilla Dragonite coming out of the water with the laser beam eyes. You guys have to watch this episode. If you like Godzilla and you like Pokemon, you will completely love our reference to
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
It's straight up Godzilla.
It really is hilarious. Like you can literally put the Godzilla music in and And no. Well, and that's actually the sound that he makes is almost whalish Godzilla-ish, in my opinion. So, no, just put I can't sing the Godzilla theme song. Edit the Godzilla theme song into that part of the video, and you will have a laugh.
But, no, again, no talk of Vermillion City. I'm starting to get impatient.
Yeah, we're almost there. We're
have
so
to
close
get there. We have to get there.
It's got to be in the next episode or two. And this episode leaves you off with having no idea what's going next.
But we didn't know where it's like this was a hole in time. Like nothing really came of this episode besides like a great campfire story. You know, to tell.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Ash is. Hopefully, the only thing that I could say that came from this episode is Ash got a little bit of a spark under his booty to start really catching Pokemon instead of just bragging about having Pokemon and having badges. He needs to really start earning his things.
Yeah.
So,
But, all right, let's open boosters. I got to go get them. Hold on. All right, we've got cards. We've got boosters. 2 Steam Siege boosters.
I'm going to go first this time.
What? You beat me to it.
Yeah, I'm already set. Ready? I got Trainer Pokemon Ranger, Nidorino, Monferno, Seedot, Fletchling, Clauncher, Apiom. I just hatched him today. Yama, I just caught him today too. Amoonguss is my reverse, and Drodigon. I love when I can't say their names.
That's
you
all
guys
the time.
too.
All right, here we go for me. Anorith, Hawlucha. Oh, I like that card. Ambipom. See, there's the evolved form of Apom. Mm-hmm. Fungus, the pre-evolution of the one you just got.
Amoonguss.
Ponyard, Joltik, Clink, Tangela. My reverse is Armor Phosphor Shieldon.
Cool.
Oh, and my rare is a Volcarona, which is one of the split fire and grass type, which is really neat.
It's cool.
So, no EXs or shiny stuff.
That's okay.
But
Fungus and Amoonguss.
Leaf. Fungus Among Us?
Right?
Yes.
Isn't that an Incubus album?
That is an Incubus album. They're on tour. So, that's pretty much it, guys.
All right.
We're going to wrap up the episode. Thank you very much. I want to say...
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all. Gotta watch them all. Find us at gottawatchemall.com, at gottawatchemall on the Twitters. I'm Proud Gamer Tweet on the Twitters. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Yeah. Special thanks to Seth Hay for the graphics, Chipocrit for the music, and everyone for their support. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.
Love ya.
Peace.
Bye.